Welcome to today's explainer. All right, so today we're looking at a piece of source text that is honestly incredibly brief. We're talking just one single sentence here. But man, it carries the weight of an entire alternate history. It makes a claim so absolute, it kind of forces us to completely reevaluate our past. So let's dive right into the forgotten heroes of the American Revolution who changed everything forever.
The forgotten heroes. You know, it's a phrase that really just demands a dramatic pause. Just three simple words, right? But they fundamentally challenge the whole foundation of what we think we know about history. Look, we're always taught that history is a record of the biggest names and the most massive events. But we're explicitly told here that there are heroes, people whose actions were absolutely critical and valiant, who have been literally erased from that record. It introduces this profound blind spot right smack in the middle of one of the most heavily documented eras in human history. Crazy, right?
Which naturally leads us to our main question. Who actually changed the American Revolution? This really sets up what I like to call the iceberg mystery of historical memory. We all know the tip of the iceberg, right? The famous names, the signed documents, the marble statues. But beneath the surface, operating totally out of sight, were these profound, unseen forces and individuals. The people who actually moved the needle, who really changed the course of the revolution, well, they might not be the ones staring back at us from our currency.
Okay, part one, the hidden revolution. Because the American Revolution, it isn't just one single tidy story. There are all these hidden layers of sacrifices and turning points that happened right alongside those famous battles, but somehow never made it into the official ledgers.
So we're faced with this really profound tension. On one hand, we have the remembered, that curated, polished version of history handed down to us in history books and monuments. But on the other hand, we have the forgotten, the messy, unrecorded reality of everyday people who are literally fighting in the shadows. We are basically forced to confront the fact that this forgotten side holds keys to the revolution that are just as vital, maybe even more so than the officially recorded narrative we all grew up with.
Moving on to part two, defining forgotten heroes. Usually the word hero is tied up with public glory and medals, but here we really have to strip all of that away to find a very different kind of heroic identity.
By definition, a forgotten hero is an individual whose monumental impact on the American Revolution remains entirely unrecognized by conventional historical memory. I mean, just think about the inherent contradiction there. How on earth can someone have a monumental impact, literally building the foundation of a brand new nation, and yet be completely swallowed by the shadows of time? It's wild. It suggests this fundamental failure in how history is kept. It basically means that true impact and public recognition are absolutely not the same thing.
Let's actually break down the immense conceptual weight of this idea. Forgotten heroes, well, that represents the lost human identities. American Revolution provides this massive global stage and changed everything that gives us the absolute scale of their actions. When you stack these concepts together, wow, this is no minor historical footnote. It's an earth-shattering claim about everyday people shaping the entire course of human events.
Which brings us to part three, changing everything forever. And keep in mind, this doesn't say these individuals helped a little bit or, influenced a battle. It offers a completely uncompromising view of their impact.
This is really the ultimate historical butterfly effect in action. Think about it. Step one, an unrecorded action occurs. Maybe someone delivers a secret message or forges essential weapons in some quiet blacksmith shop, or maybe they just hold a crucial mine in the dead of night. Then, step two, a profound, massive historical shift results from that invisible trigger. And finally, step three, the impact echoes permanently into the modern world. It perfectly demonstrates exactly how unrecognized, undocumented actions can yield very real, totally unshakable consequences.
Actually, I want to slow down for a second here, just to emphasize the staggering magnitude of one final word. Forever. History is rarely absolute, right? It shifts, it fades, it's constantly being revised. But cementing these actions as forever guarantees that while their identities might be completely lost to us, the reality these unnamed individuals built is permanent. It is completely unalterable.
All of this leaves us with one seriously lingering question. If the people who changed everything forever are forgotten, what else is missing from our history? I mean, if the very architects of the American Revolution can just vanish from the books, how much of what we accept as the complete truth of our past is actually just a tiny fraction of the story? It's definitely time we look past the surface of the remembered and start wondering about those unseen forces operating just beneath the ice. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.